Hello, ladies and gentlemen,
hi there.
boys and girls, children of all ages. Me, the Lou D-O-double-G, and I'm sitting here with, who are you? Remind us.
Katie Mark. That's me.
Why don't you use your gamer tag, bro?
I'm not defined by my gamer tag.
But you understand that
by my character.
You understand that my name is Lou Dog and yours is the real Slim Katie.
Oh yeah, I'm real Slim Katie 25. My bad.
These are like rap names, and we could be a rap group, but you refuse to use your gamer tag.
Oh my god, I'm not. I'm adapting. I'm real Slim Katie 25.
And also, when you get into the stream, it says your full name. By the way.
Well, yeah. What I know, I need to start joining the stream from my Angry Belly account, because when I don't, it's embarrassing.
Or just change your name on your already account.
I don't know how to do that.
Oh my god, dude. Anyway, welcome to the Angry Belly Just Watch podcast, where we watch movies and talk about them. One shots to our sister podcast, the Angry Belly Anime Watch podcast, where we
watch anime.
Which we're at the moment. This will come out before the final episode of Cowboy Bebop. I mean, no, crap. Going back in time right now. Spy Family.
That was years ago. In the scheme of time, Cowboy Bebop was eons ago.
It was. And they're doing Death Note after that for anybody who's interested. But
yeah. Who wouldn't be
moving
interested?
forward. You're right. Moving forward, however, we did just watch Oppenheimer.
Whoa.
And this was directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Cillian Murphy.
I wish I knew, and I'm embarrassed that I don't.
I feel like I keep hearing it in every which way.
I know.
And I don't know which one it is.
Me neither.
This was a movie. Let's talk about real quick the IMDb ratings. Still waiting to hear from IMDb about that sponsorship. But hey, you know what? We'll keep using them. Maybe one day they'll be like, yeah, keep using us. IMDb user rating with 211,000 ratings is an 8.7 out of 10, and a media score of an 88 out of 100. So seems like the critics and the users are all on the same page here. Yeah. So what are you thinking right now?
So I like going into this. I don't
just
want to
first
say
thoughts before we get
hater of Christopher Nolan, because obviously The Dark Knight is like top 5 of all time. Yeah, totally. It's one of my like all time favorite movies. So. Yeah, same. But outside of that, I'm not the like biggest Christopher Nolan fan. Tenet, he lost a lot of faith in me with Tenet. But I went into this movie with, I guess, like tempered expectations, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. What about you? What are your like initial thoughts?
Me too. I really enjoyed it. It's really nice that we're talking about Oppenheimer for our third tab one shot, because the first two movies we one shotted were complete utter shit in comparison. And this movie I would not watch again. Like, not anytime soon. But I will say this: if I ever did watch it again, I would have to sit down and pay attention and be in like this like blinders on my face and just like do nothing else, you know, make a day out of it kind of thing. Because this is not a movie that you can just kind of have on in the background, because
no,
I'm gonna be the first to say, and maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit here, but the mixing is awesome. It's one of my favorite parts of the movie, but there are just random like and so I just imagine myself like cooking or something and cutting up some chicken, and all of a sudden I get jump scared by a fucking explosion, and there goes my finger, you know?
I know.
But yes, I agree. I did like it. per the last 2 one-shots, we're going to do 3 things we both liked each and kind of do, what do we call it? King Arthur roundtable situation?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think Miss Gloria came up with that.
I don't know. It's somewhere. It's somewhere. But, Katie, you go first.
Well, I agree with you. This will not be my next First Avenger put on in the background kind of movie. But my number one thing from this movie, and I'm...
Oh, sorry. Hold on real quick. But I just want to reiterate what I just said. I said 3 things that we like, 3 notable things we want to talk about. Sorry, I said like specifically.
Okay.
Revert that to 3 things that... Anyway, continue. Sorry.
The number one thing that I walked away from this movie with, and you already brought it up, so I know you're thinking this too, but... Truly, the sound design, the sound engineering, and the mixing of this movie were stunning.
They were amazing, yeah.
I can't think of the last time that I went to a movie and left thinking about how specifically sound was my favorite part of the movie. It totally stole the show for me. Yeah. And just, I was listening. I was front row, edge, like farthest right seat. So I was in a not great seat, but I had my ears fully open the entire time. The way that they, there was never something not happening until the moment it goes silent so intentionally, and it made you realize that, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. There's so much. It's never just the dialogue. It's never music thrown randomly. It was so purposeful and intentional, and it was so effective in my opinion. They will sweep the sound category at the Oscars is my Katie Mark prediction.
I am glad. Yes, that was one of my things as well. I felt that the audio in every way was impactful. I'd be surprised if they didn't win the audio and the mixing Oscar if they still do that. I'd be surprised if they didn't, because just like Katie, so when I watch movies specifically, and I feel like the only other contender for movies that I've seen this past year is definitely Across the Spider-Verse,
sure,
which would be a very close second. But even that movie, I was like, I feel like the design was more, there was more design in that one, where this one was very heavy audio mixing. Like not that mixing isn't design and design isn't mixing, but there are 2 very different facets between, and I say this as a sound designer, right? There are 2 different facets between choosing music and cultivating that aspect to mixing something, right? Go ahead.
I think there's still 2 categories at the Oscars. I think there's sound design and sound engineering. I believe they are 2 different categories.
There's definitely still mixing, and for mixing, for sure, they're winning this. Like, there's just no way they're not.
And I knew that you were going to be thinking about sound when this movie was over. But I surprised myself how much I was still thinking about it, because I'm not like a sound-centric person in the way that you are. Like, it's, part of your career. So it makes me wonder how many people who don't sit down and talk about movies at the length and frequency that we do are coming away thinking about this.
No, yeah, absolutely. That was something that really wowed me, and I expected there to be loud explosions. I expected there to be loud bangs and that sort of thing for shock value and for a lot of reasons. But to the extent, and I have one thing I want to talk about in particular that even got Miss Gloria excited, and this was like her favorite part. And it's the scene where, and obviously we're talking about Oppenheimer. Spoilers alert!
Spoilers ahead.
Japan does get bombed, in case you're curious.
Brutal.
I did really enjoy when, after the bombs drop, Oppenheimer is like talking in a basketball stadium there in Los Alamos, which I think that's what it is. That's what it kind of seemed like, a gymnasium kind of situation. And he's talking, and everybody's like cheering, and he's having these moments of guilt and regret, and like things are fading in and out for him. And as the scene goes on, the people's cheering turns into the people of Japan screaming. and I felt that was such a wonderfully articulated moment, because at least I didn't realize from the get-go that that sound effect had been going on throughout the whole movie. Mm-hmm. And then once it faded from all the people in Los Alamos cheering for him, fading into the screams of the people that were affected by the nuclear bombs. And that was like the epitome of how wonderfully thought out all of the audio was in this film. And that's my first thing.
No, I'm with you. And it's really cool that specific moment that they integrated too. Because I think if somebody was like, took their magnifying glass and stepped back a couple feet and was a little bit less like, I don't want to say like analytical, but I think if somebody wanted to walk into this movie and treat it as a pro-war movie, they could. Until there's moments you cannot ignore that Nolan is clearly condemning the actions taken by Oppenheimer and Truman and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, so my second thing is, I want to say pacing is mm-hmm. my second thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much we've talked about it on the podcast, but Louis, you know me probably better than anybody as far as movie going goes.
Yeah.
And what is my calling card?
Oh, that you hate when things like take fucking 10,000 years to say something. Yeah.
Yes, and that
I figured this would come up because that was Miss Gloria's biggest thing, and I have an argument, but continue.
My other big, I'm kind of notorious for falling asleep at the movies. Mm-hmm. It's not something I'm proud of, and whenever I do get sleepy at the movies, it's against every will in my body. It's fighting it, you know? So it takes a really like boring movie. So this movie was 3 hours long. Not at one point in this movie did I lose interest.
Okay, good. I was like, don't I in my brain I marked where you probably would have fallen asleep if you did. Yeah. And I thought you were gonna say you did fall asleep at that moment.
No. I was completely engaged the entire time. Honestly, sometimes like I'm a very like ADHD on the spectrum type person, and I like when I'm not fully engaged, it's so easy to lose me. But I was very with it this entire film. The only point where I felt like I began to lose like the exact amount of interest was the last 30 minutes, because I was like, let's wrap this up. Where's our resolution? Are we getting one? That kind of thing. But I felt it didn't feel like a 3-hour movie to me, because you know, Avatar: Way of Water, great movie. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I felt every second of that 3 hours. This I didn't. It really did feel very quick to me, shockingly.
Yeah, that's your second thing? Yeah, I have something to say. I have to say something about your second thing, and then I'll say my second thing. Yeah, so, you know, interestingly enough, after the bomb drops, Miss Gloria was like, I'm done with this movie, which after the bomb drops, there's still like an hour left, right? Or 45 minutes, something like that. And crazy enough, yes, that ends up being like the most boring part, but that part also has the best acting. And so that's just kind of what I wanted to say about that last hour of the film.
Oh my goodness, I know.
Like, I feel like Robert Downey Jr. and Cillian Murphy really hit it out of the park with those last like 45 to an hour.
They threw down.
It was great, and I loved the just going back and forth between them when Oppenheimer was at his hearing and Strauss was at his hearing, and that kind of like Robert Downey Jr. losing it in the room and like all those things. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that, because my wonderful girlfriend thinks that wasn't necessary to say and that it was too boring. But both of us here at the Angry Belly Anime Watch podcast, who are also watching normal movies now, think that it was well worth it and was good. So, yeah. Miss Gloria, eat my dust. Hello friends, do you want to watch this on the go? Then look no further than the link below. In the description, you will find the Angry Belly Anime Watch podcast link, which can link you to various podcatching sites such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and many more. Or you can type in tabanimewatch.podbean.com into your search engine to get you to our podcatching site.
And like, even though the last 30 minutes were a little like slow, the scenes that they give Robert Downey Jr., oh my gosh, the whole moment where he goes back to see Einstein again, I was just like on the like, they gave them acting moments, like, oh my gosh. Yeah, and my third thing. Wait,
I didn't say my second thing.
You didn't? I thought that was your
was commenting. I was commenting on your second thing.
I'm so sorry. Wait, what's your second thing?
Go sit in a corner, please.
Okay, I'm sitting.
No, it's all good. My second thing is this, and Miss Gloria brought this up, and the more that I think about it, the more I'm like, yes, I do agree. This movie doesn't pass the Bechdel test at all. Like, yeah. I feel like the women in this film, and maybe this is Christopher Nolan himself, as a shortcoming as a writer director, but they get nothing. Like, I was excited because there were moments that on Twitter before I saw the movie, like when it first came out in France, I think, and things were coming out about it. They were saying, oh, Emily Blunt might be getting an Oscar. Like, this was an amazing performance, and her character's redemption arc was amazing, and all these things. And then I was watching it, and I was like underwhelmed with how the women were handled. I understand Florence Pugh's character. I believe what happened, like, actually happened was like she disappeared and no one ever saw her again. So I think that's what Christopher Nolan did, was like his interpretation maybe of what happened. I could be wrong about that. Fact check me, anybody.
Right.
But I mean, her character was obviously meant to fuel Oppenheimer in some sort of way. So like, I kind of understand why it happened the way it happened, because obviously nothing was ever gonna come of her character for Oppenheimer. And not to say that Emily Blunt didn't do a good job herself. I do think that she was. No, like, I don't think, and like, there was no moments where women spoke. I don't know. It's a weird thing because obviously during this time,
right,
women weren't respected nearly as much as they are now, obviously. And so then, like, there's that aspect of trying to stay true to the source material, but also like there's a scene where this woman went to Harvard or something, and she was like, I don't remember exactly what happens.
They didn't teach me typing at Harvard.
That's what it was, exactly. And then Oppenheimer was like, okay, you're hired. Go do science things, girl. And, like, that was, like, it.
You said, okay, Pussy Queen slay.
Yeah, and then she, like, never to be seen again. Like, that was, like, the extent of it. And, like, I don't know. Maybe it does make more sense this way because of the time, because it is, like, a biopic or whatever. Very dramatized biopic, right? but still, I'm like, okay, yeah, like it was a big old sausage fest.
Yeah, like, I mean, I understand that there were not a lot of like women or people of color involved in this event.
Right, that was the other.
However, like, the point is, you know, at what point does us staying true to this make it no longer enjoyable?
Right.
But I mean, Roderick was there, so I guess that solves.
And so was
that
Josh
solves
Peck.
all of sexism, and Josh Peck was there.
Yep. Mm-hmm,
yeah. So all of sexism and racism has been solved by their presence. They are allies.
They are absolutely allies.
But yeah, I totally.
Yeah, that was my second thing that I kind of just wanted to point out, which, again, it's a slippery slope with that sort of thing, especially with it being set where it is set. So
right, I don't know what I would have asked. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying too. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I don't know if it ever happened in real life, but I would have loved to have seen a scene, and this still wouldn't have passed the Bechdel test.
Right,
a scene between Jean Tadlock and Oppenheimer's wife.
Oh yeah,
Blunt. So, you know, who knows? But anyways, okay, my third thing is I want to say, like, the aftertaste of this movie.
Sure.
I guess I don't know. There's probably a really good word for it, and I just don't know what it is. But what the movie left me with, I was so worried that this movie was going to be like very pro Oppenheimer, pro bombing, pro war. And there were certain points where it felt like it could have been, and I've been reading like articles talking about how Oppenheimer actually had like zero regret for his actions and stuff like that. So I think they've taken this story and made it more bite-sized, but ultimately this story left me feeling very sad, with very little, like, just a lot of reflection of, wow, this is the world we live in. Because ultimately, whether this character regretted it or not, his actions contributed to the death of thousands and thousands of people. And that is on his shoulders, right? So it was a very interesting, I felt like I just felt kind of like very reflective for hours after this movie. And anyways, I love leaving with a sense of conflict and thought, and movies that stay with you after you leave the theater.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I keep bringing up Miss Gloria because her and I talked about this extensively afterwards, but she says that she felt like it wasn't enough. Like, they didn't talk about it enough in the film. But I don't know that I necessarily agree. I feel like there could have always been more. But
I agree, but I like how they hand it over to the audience to be the ones to think about it.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel about it too. Because it's a film about him, right? And so obviously after the bomb drops, there's going to be all this stuff about Strauss, and there is a lot of things to juggle here. And I do think that as Oppenheimer moves throughout his life, there are different feelings and different things that he is going to feel as a result of being this person. And to an extent, right? I'm not saying this for sure, right? But like, to an extent, there is a lot of blame to be placed on the government, right?
Right.
Because I think the idea, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it could have been for him being like, okay, we're gonna kill the Nazis who are killing my people, but then they surrendered before. Right. That could have been, you know what? Because he was Jewish, so
yeah,
I could see there. Not that it makes it any more right, to kill people in that, right, or to be the driving force behind that. But
no, I'm very anti-Nazi.
Right? No, of course, but that's what I'm saying, right? Because it makes more sense that way. At least in my brain.
Yeah, so it's really interesting, and honestly, I think you're right that this is a movie about Oppenheimer, and if this were a movie about exclusively the morality of war, and
it would be a whole different film.
It's a whole thing.
It would be so different.
I honestly, I really do like how they bring it up and they make these points. And then they don't spend the whole movie dawdling on it, because they could, right? They literally could.
And it would be so easy to.
And it could be all about his, this and this. But if they talked about it more, I think it would have been so much less impactful. And it would have given the audience so much less to think and talk about.
Yeah. But yeah, I do have one more thing to say. My official third thing. I keep commenting on what you're saying, because there's a lot to say about this movie.
I know.
My third thing is gonna be the hat. I fucking love the hat.
Well, you have that hat, the Kenny hat.
Yeah, it's not.
It literally looks like the Captain Kenny hat.
It's not mine, obviously. It's back in our shop that we went to school in. But yes, the hat it emulates swag. It drips ice. Like, it's just it's the staple of this film. It is so fucking cool. Like, I'm a sucker I'm a slut for a good hat. I'm not even gonna say sucker. I want it to be more like aggressive than that. I'm a slut for a good hat. And
it should be. It should be.
Yep. It's awesome. I love the hat.
Yeah, the hat was good in this movie. The hat served.
It certainly did serve. Okay.
So how are we ranking this? Is it 10 hamburgers or something? Is our scale?
Yeah, we'll say how about we'll say 10 hamburgers, right? Why not? Go ahead.
I'm gonna. This is gonna be like crazy, and I need to let the movie settle. It's been about a week since I've seen it, and I've only seen it the one time. But right now, I'm gonna give it a crispy. I just don't know what I would want to be different about this movie, and that's normally my last star. So I'm gonna give this honestly 8.7.
Oh wow. Okay, we're gonna
very high for me.
We are, well, yeah. I mean, well, also, to be completely honest with you, the last two movies we saw were utter shit.
I know. So I think my scale might be off, but...
No. What I'm saying is it seems high for you right now because we saw The Flash and Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny. So...
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay, granted, Indiana Jones was better than The Flash, but still, The Flash, right? Anyway.
Yeah.
I will stop talking about The Flash for the third one-shot episode in a row.
You just love The Flash. Louis loves The Flash.
So I will say, yeah, 8.5 for me. It was one of those films that I'm glad I saw because I got to experience so much stimulus. And the way I feel about this movie is that it felt like a 3-hour-long trailer where there was something stimulating you the entire time. You know?
Maybe that's why I liked it so much.
It was just a 3-hour-long trailer. The movie felt like it simultaneously never started and never ended. It was just great.
Yeah. What's your official number?
8.5.
8.5.
8.5. Yeah. Which I don't give very many things a 9. I mean, I would give The Dark Knight a 9. I'd give Fellowship of the Ring a 9. You know. That sort of thing.
Yeah. Wait, what did I say? Did I say 8.3 or did I say 8.7?
8.7. You said 8.7. Which is the IMDb user rating, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe. Now I'm thinking about it and I'm like, maybe 8.7 is too high.
I don't think it is. I think that's a fine... It's only 0.2 more than mine.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I like this a lot. I will watch it again soon, and I'll give my thoughts.
I don't think I'll watch it again soon because I do need to watch Barbie, but...
oh my gosh. And honestly, watching Barbie immediately after this movie, wild.
Are you... Okay. So, Miss Gloria... Since you've seen Barbie, Miss Gloria said that she loved Barbie way more than Oppenheimer. What did you think? If you had to... did you like Barbie more or less than Oppenheimer? I'm just curious.
Genuinely, my, one sentence to leave... the conversation with is that both movies left me feeling incredibly sad about the world we live in.
Oh gosh. Okay, good to know.
I loved Barbie. They both, as far as production quality, on par with each other. The production design of both of these movies was beyond incredible. Yeah. And genuinely it's shocking to see two movies of such competitive caliber be released at the same time. I expected to have a clear favorite. I don't.
Well, so we'll leave you with that, and I will say one last thing about the Barbenheimer situation. There has not been as much revenue going through theaters since Endgame, apparently.
I genuinely, oh my gosh, to leave you with this, I tried to go see last night Talk to Me, the new A24 horror film, because I don't know if y'all know how I feel about A24, but oh my gosh. So I walked into this theater. I've literally never seen so many people at a movie theater in my life, because, I'm unlimited.
It's like
I tried to get my tickets. I couldn't. I literally had to miss the movie because there was a 40-minute wait to get to the ticket counter. It was insane. It was like in Minecraft when there's you spawn 1,000 cows in the same place. That was how many people was in this movie theater. It was crazy to me.
Dude, that's awesome because
I'm super happy.
It sounds like we're getting transported back to 2010 when people were just in the movies all the time. And that was
it's getting me so excited, Louis.
It's very awesome, and I'm happy about it. I like the movies. There's always just some sort of it's just always an adventure. You never know what you're gonna come out with. So I think that's gonna be it for this one shot, y'all. Come back for the Barbie one shot that's probably gonna come out pretty soon.
After it's gotta be TMNT, right?
Dude, you freaking know it.
I know.
Come on, man.
I'm gonna see it on 4DX. Oh.
I wish I could see it next Thursday, but my grandfather's gonna be in town, so I'll probably see it sometime during the weekend. But
yeah, you should go to Barbie, Regal Gateway. They'll have it in 4DX. Honestly,
I think I'm gonna. I honestly, dude, because we are doing this so often, I'm probably just gonna get the pass, dude. At this point,
you really should. You really should.
Yeah, at this point. But anyways, follow us on our social medias at the Angry Belly everywhere on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, I'm at real.
What about you?
You know where to find me, Real Slim Shady. Find me, find me on this channel. Find me in stream. Find me on Instagram. I'm never on it, but you can find me there. So.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yep. Okay.
Yeehaw.
This movie had a lot to take in, so I think I'm gonna bring in something, and this is gonna be the actual last thing. I think we should have a thing where it's like certified fresh, right? But instead, it's certified crispy crispy because you know that crispy is a thing in the channel, right? It's an emote, something I've been saying forever. This movie, if it's over an 8, certified crispy, go spend your money and watch this film.
Heck yeah.
Alrighty.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.